You're on fire. Welcome back to Slush. Quick fire round to warm up.
Okay.
So would you rather have a fika in Stockholm or coffee chat in San Francisco?
I heard about those coffee chats in San Francisco. I had a few, but definitely Stockholm fika is the way to go.
All right. A swim in the Baltics or a cross-country ski?
I actually have this initiation ritual with some people in the team, which is to go to swim in the Baltic. So it's definitely that one.
All right. Favorite childhood character? Swedish Carlson on the roof or Finnish Mummins?
This one actually goes to Moomin.
Same with me. And have you seen any unexpected or funny project built on Lovable in the last couple of months?
I think I see like some crazy thing someone built every week, posted in our Slack. But one that comes to mind is Ilka, who started Supercell. Someone in his team built a Lovable app that blew me away. It looks like you're watching a TV, and then all the TV channels that you can browse are like the most boring Finnish TV that's AI generated. So I got stuck on that app for a while. It's like I didn't understand you could build it with Lovable.
All right, maybe we should shoot it in the background. All right, welcome back. You threw a great party yesterday for Lovable's first year anniversary. You were here a year ago. Did you know that it's going to work out? Did you feel nervous at all?
Yeah, look, Slush put me on stage here 1 year ago, which was when we actually launched Lovable. And I was nervous. I so excited to come back here 1 year later and talk to the community that took us here and like believed in us first. We were just 8 people in a co-working space building at the time, and some things in my life changed since then.
All right. Take us all the way back, still before you started the company. How did you come up with the idea? How did you meet your co-founder? How did Lovable came to be?
Yeah, so my background is like physics. I was at CERN, and then that took me to AI research. I was the first employee at Sauna Labs before I was, a bit more than 2 years ago, I was thinking like, what's the most ambitious thing I should be building now that AI, like to me it was obvious, AI is going to completely transform everything. And I built this tool called GPT Engineer that was kind of a precursor of Lovable. And then a few days later, after that one like blew up in popularity, I just realized, wait, so the opportunity here is to not to build a tool for developers. There's like 0.5% of the world is a developer, and software has been this bottleneck for all companies over the last few decades. So I biked to my co-founder's place, Fabian. I called him up and said, Fabian, we're going to start a company, and we're going to transform how you create software and who gets to create it. And since then, we're just working super hard, being close to people who use the product and iterating on the product.
I love that you started from this prompt of like, what's the most ambitious thing that I can possibly build? Not, what do I know best, or how do I raise money, or how do I get to maybe 10 million of ARR, but just what's the most ambitious thing? It's been a big year. You just announced yesterday that Lovable is now at $200 million of ARR. It's been huge growth. How did you get there?
Yeah, so I think the core of what's under any of these numbers is who is actually using Lovable to build real companies or build products for their work or for the business that they are running. I think a number that speaks to me is that every day more than 100,000 new projects are built on our platform. And if you look at what happens to those projects, there's more than 5 million people that use Lovable built applications every single day. And this is humans doing these things. I recently heard about Sabrine, who launched an application to fight gender-based violence in Brazil. They have 10,000 users in less than 3 months. A kid in Portugal, he was building a Facebook for his classroom before the teachers kind of shut that down. We're just seeing all of these people in the community driving it forward. I think there's like 100,000 people in the community. They've been active in voice on our Discord for I think the last 1,000 hours, they're breaking some kind of world record right now. So that's really what's powering what we're doing. And there's a movement over the last 12 months, which is that anyone can create software.
Yeah, those are amazing numbers and examples. Is there something that Europeans specifically build on Lovable?
Yes, yeah, actually, I just heard about Hussein and Jalil. I think they're like 20 years old. They built quick tables where they go out to restaurants and help them have a digital presence, and they built everything on top of Lovable and making more than $100,000 per year at a very young age. And then we have a company that's set out to help e-commerce stores with everything AI. So you can try on clothes virtually online, and they're making almost $1 million after less than 12 months. Peter Henrik, they're building Lumo. And then I think there's many more stories. I'd love to hear from the audience after this. I'm sure there's a lot of startups building on top of it.
Great. As you know, I moved from California to London a couple of months ago. One of the big reasons was that I thought that now is the time for European founders to build from Europe, build global companies and global leaders in the space. It was done before by companies like Miro, Spotify, Celonis, and many others. And now you in 11 Labs and several other companies are leading their own markets from Europe. You're expanding to the US, but you keep the heart of the company in Stockholm. Tell us a bit more about why do you do this?
Yeah, so as I was starting out, me and Fabian, a lot of people, they told me, Anton, like, amazing vision, I think you can pull this off, but you have to go to Silicon Valley to build this big. Like, this is just an extremely ambitious thing, right? And I was tempting, but I really resisted that so that I could sit here now and say, look, guys, you can build a global AI company from Europe. And one thing that has been in our favor to succeed in this is that there's more available talent, that if you have a strong vision, you have a lot of urgency in coming together as a group and working, unlike most European companies, you're like with an extremely high pace, then Europe is in many ways a better place to build AI and tech and product companies specifically. And how we approach it now is that instead of saying, okay, great, we're successful now, let's go to the US, we're bringing a lot of the leadership that has very relevant experience from Silicon Valley, for example, into the company to build channel a lot of the ambition and talent that we have here with more experience. So that's kind of how we think about building out the company. And then, of course, serving customers in the US by having offices there as well.
I love that you flipped the playbook. Instead of going to Silicon Valley, you're bringing Silicon Valley to you with some execs from companies like Notion and Slack and Gusto moving to Stockholm. Tell us a bit more, what kind of culture do you want to create as you build a company?
Yeah, I think the in-person thing gives you a lot of energy. It's much easier to just like solve problems immediately and be more direct with each other than if you're on Zoom. So it's really nice to see like people are leading everything on like the foundation of the company, the people team, operations and finance, moving with their families from the Bay Area to Stockholm. And the culture look like a lot of what we do, as we take as many creative ideas as you can fit into also making the product like reliable and coherent. I think every weekend there's an engineer that has a new demo of like, oh, we could actually put this new part of part of the AI plus UX experience into the product, and I think that's like combination of creativity with being relentless in high quality bar is what set us apart on building the product. I think it's been fascinating to see just like this speed of execution permeating functions that I never seen been so like high velocity. Marianne built Notion, and she's building the people team at Lovable today. And like every time I see their team, they are executing extremely rapidly, unlike most of HR functions I've seen before.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Lovable and Lovable's team is how you blend the sort of raw energy, and power of the founders and engineers that you hire with the expertise of people you bring from the outside. It's really been great. We've seen many companies in the last 10 years become successful, start from product-led growth like Dropbox and Atlassian and Slack, and eventually build a massive business in the enterprise. Now you're also on the same path. You have companies like Microsoft and Klarna being your customers. Tell us a bit more, how do you see the future of the enterprise with Lovable?
Yeah, so Lovable literally started as a movement 12 months ago with individuals, prosumers, trying it out, putting in their credit card, and that's now happening in large companies as well. So I just heard the president of Microsoft on stage, Brad Smith. He said it's breathtaking what he's seeing in how Lovable is helping accelerate work that they do at Microsoft. And then afterwards I saw a job description for a new role at Microsoft, where a requirement is to be able to use tools like Lovable to accelerate your work. What we're seeing in large companies, and like any company out there, is that Lovable is going from this entry point of creation, where you start new things, to also being infrastructure for things that you're doing. So on the first side, you have the quote, you might have heard this, Zhenya, it's demo, don't memo, which a lot of product managers, leaders and executives love. Sebastian, who's building Klarna, like a good success story, he's very intensely hands-on with AI, and one thing he's saying is, look, at Klarna, I don't want to see PowerPoint presentations communicating your ideas anymore. I want you to build the thing and then show it to your colleagues or show it to me, so that we can in an instant decide what is a good idea and what is a great idea that we should align the company and focus on strategically. And then from that part of using an AI software engineer as a communication tool, aligning faster, we're now seeing companies launch new product lines and run their entire marketing departments on top of Lovable in a way that engineers and the 99% who are working in large companies, right, they can collaborate. And we're not doing a pivot to enterprise, but the 99%, they truly are everywhere. They're building companies, and they are working in large companies. So it's us just serving all the opportunities and the pool of where Lovable is being used.
Yeah. Year one has been an amazing success. It is showing that the model that you built is working. What does year two look like for you?
Year two is about showing that we can scale this up to its full potential. And the product is used for 100 different use cases. It's now it's infrastructure for a lot of the use cases, and it can be so much more. So it's about us educating that this is enterprise-grade secure, and how you use it to transform your existing company and build products in a new way with AI at the core of the product and how you're building the product.
You're now back at Slush, surrounded by European founders. Many come from engineering backgrounds and write code every day. Many others don't write code. With Lovable, it's not such a big difference anymore. What do you say to this new generation of European founders?
Yeah, look, I'm very excited for anyone who is the founder right now. First, I just want to say, as any founder, what's very important is to understand the problem you're solving, and the best way to do that is to be close and think like your customer. And if you do that and you're relentless, there's so many ways to be successful, especially thanks to AI, and you could build your company on top of Lovable much faster than you could when I was starting out, right? I think there are future unicorn founders here in this audience. And I'm excited for you to help those founders be successful based on what we're doing for them. And if founders out there want to be building on the absolute cutting edge of AI, we're also hiring founders at Lovable. So I'd love to hear from people reaching out who are considering joining building a startup as well.
Anton, it's been a pleasure and a privilege working with you over this last Yair, thank you for a great kickoff of the first day. And thank you for really being the inspiration for a lot of people in the audience.
Thank you, Zhenya. It's a pleasure to work with you. Yes.